Do you ever find yourself feeling just a little too satisfied when someone else's life goes off the rails? Or have you ever caught yourself thinking, manipulating people isn't so bad after all? If any of that sounds familiar, you might just be another villain in the making. But don't worry, it is not all bad, right? Or is it? You know, life has a funny way of messing with us. The stress, the disappointments, that one friend who always cancels plans at the last minute. Yeah, it adds up. Before you know it, you are not just rolling your eyes at humanity, you are secretly plotting its downfall. It happens. Without realizing it, you pick up some weird and evil habits like finding joy in other people's misery or getting a little too comfortable pulling the strings from behind the curtain. But hey, you are not alone. This video is all about those sneaky little things that are turning you into a certified dark soul and what to watch out for before you start building your villain lair. The first sign is that you enjoy seeing others suffer. All right, let's be honest. Have you ever felt a little too happy when someone trips and spills their coffee everywhere? Or when that one person you secretly can't stand finally messes up? If you catch yourself grinning at someone else's pain, failure, or embarrassment, there's something darker brewing under the surface. And I am not talking about the occasional, serves them right. No, this is about feeling a deep, warm glow in your cold little heart when things go sideways for someone else. This is called Schadenfreude, which is a fancy way of saying, I love to watch the world burn, as long as it is not my house. It starts small. You laugh a little too hard when your friend falls for the 5th time in a row. But with time, you find yourself secretly hoping for their downfall, just so you can feel better about yourself. That sense of control, oh, it is delicious, but probably not the healthiest way to go about life. Moving on to the second sign, you lie for fun, even over trivial things. Okay, we all lie sometimes. I am 5 minutes away when you're still in bed. No, I love your new haircut, but when you start lying for no reason at all, just because it is fun, well, that is a red flag flapping in the breeze. Say you are chatting with a friend, and they ask what you did over the weekend. For no real reason, you tell them you went skydiving, when in reality, you spent the entire weekend binge-watching a true crime docu-series. Why lie? You're not gaining anything from it, except the thrill of watching them believe something completely fake. It is like being the puppeteer in your own little twisted reality show. And yeah, it feels like a fun, harmless game at first, but if you get too comfortable making stuff up, lying becomes your default setting. Before you know it, you are spinning webs of lies just for the adrenaline rush of seeing people fall for it. Next, you take pleasure in controlling others. Everyone likes to feel in control. I mean, who doesn't want to be the captain of their own ship? But if you start wanting to captain everyone else's ship too, yeah, that is where things get dark. It is one thing to want things done a certain way, but it is a whole different ballgame when you start pulling the strings in other people's lives, telling them what to do, how to think, or even who to date. You nudge your friend to wear a certain outfit because you think it is better, or you suggest how your coworker should handle a project, but deep down, it is really about making sure things go your way. That little hit of satisfaction you get when people follow your lead is like a drug. The more you control, the more you need to control. Before long, you are dictating decisions, creating drama, and pulling all the puppet strings in your personal soap opera. Soon, this isn't just about insecurity anymore. This is about power. The real question is, how long before you start building an evil lair? Fourth up, you use secrets shared with you to manipulate or blackmail people later. So someone trusts you enough to spill their darkest secrets. They probably think you are a safe space, someone who would never use their vulnerability against them. But then one day, when they have annoyed you one too many times, that little secret they told you starts looking like your own personal get-out-of-jail-free card. You keep it in your back pocket, just waiting for the perfect moment to use it, like to win an argument or get them to do something they don't want to do. This feels like you are walking around with loaded ammunition and waiting to pull the trigger when you need to get your way. It is the kind of manipulation that would make even a seasoned villain say, whoa, that is a bit much. Sure, you justify it by saying, well, they shouldn't have trusted me with that if they didn't want it to be used, but deep down, you know you have crossed the moral line. Welcome to the dark side. You have officially graduated from the petty leagues to full-on blackmail territory. The next sign is that you can't feel other people's pain, and you are cool with it. Most people feel bad when they see someone in pain, whether it is physical or emotional, but not you. Nope, you watch someone stub their toe or go through a breakup and think, tough break, without so much as a flicker of empathy. If you are consistently unbothered by other people's suffering, especially in situations where most would at least pretend to care, you lack that all-important human ingredient, empathy. Without empathy, you are basically driving without brakes. You don't feel the weight of someone else's pain, so there is nothing to stop you from running over their emotions like they are roadkill. Need to manipulate them? No problem. Hurt their feelings? Who cares? It is not your pain after all. But beware. This emotional disconnect is a slippery slope toward full-on supervillain status. Without that little voice in your head saying, maybe I shouldn't crush their soul, you will have all the freedom to do some real damage. Sign number 6, you go for the jugular in every argument. Disagreements are part of life, but for you, they are more like gladiator battles. Instead of sticking to the point or calmly discussing the issue, you go straight for the low blows. You argue and weaponize every insecurity, every mistake, and every vulnerability the other person has ever shown you. Why stop at "I disagree" when you can say, "And that is why your dad left when you were 7. Now this will sure win you the argument, but at what cost? You have left the other person emotionally gutted, probably questioning all their life choices. But hey, you have proven your dominance, right? You are not here to play nice. You are here to win. You forget resolutions or healthy communication because in your opinion, those are for people who actually care about relationships. You are in it for the power, and if you have to burn bridges to get it, so be it. But don't be surprised if you are standing alone on the ashes of your social circle by the end of it. And if all of this happens, unfortunately, you are actually more sinister than you can ever think. Next up, you are a walking mystery wrapped in a dark cloak of secrecy. Everyone has secrets, whether it is an embarrassing middle school photo or that weird hobby you hope no one ever finds out about. But if your life is like a locked vault and no one ever gets to peek inside, that is a red flag. If you are constantly dodging questions about your personal life, never sharing anything real, it can be because you have got more than just skeletons in the closet. Maybe you have got a whole graveyard in there. Extreme secrecy can also be a sneaky little tool. This way, you keep control. If people don't know much about you, they can't figure you out. And if they can't figure you out, well, that is power, baby. You are like a human Rubik's Cube, and only you know the solution. But people don't like puzzles they can never solve. After a while, they will stop trying to connect with you, and you will be left alone in your fortress of secrets, sipping your coffee of manipulation and wondering why everyone is keeping their distance. Another sign is that you push people to do stuff they don't want to do. We have all been there, trying to convince a friend to take that extra shot or go to a party when they would rather stay home. But if you find yourself regularly pushing people to do things that make them wiggle, you have crossed into some seriously shady territory. You are always guilt-tripping a friend into lying for you or persuading them to do something they are clearly uncomfortable with. Come on, what is the big deal? It will be fun, you say, but deep down, it is not really about fun, is it? It is about control. The thrill of watching someone bend to your will, even when they don't want to. That little rush of power you get when they finally give in. Yeah, that is the kind of manipulation that can leave some serious scars on your relationships. The next sign is that you are a jerk to kids. Look, most of us think kids are cute. Annoying sometimes, sure, but they are harmless little humans who just want snacks and cartoons. If you find yourself being mean or downright cruel to children, well, that is a whole new level of messed up. Kids are basically tiny, defenseless creatures. Picking on them is like kicking a puppy. It is not just mean, it is a glaring sign that something is deeply wrong. You get a sick thrill out of seeing them cry or feel helpless. That is a banner waving from the top of your personal tower of darkness, and no one likes the person who scares kids. That is like being the evil stepmother in every fairy tale, and trust me, those stories never end well for her. And lastly, you hate seeing others happy. Let's say your friend just got a promotion, or your sibling is celebrating some major life achievement, and instead of being happy for them, you're sitting there boiling and wishing they would just fail spectacularly. If you constantly feel a little or a lot bitter when other people succeed, that is not just envy. That is the darker part of you rearing its ugly head. We all feel a twinge of jealousy now and then, but if you always react to others' happiness with thoughts like, "Why not me?" or "I hope they screw it up," then you have got a problem. Maybe you have even started sabotaging people's success just to bring them down to your level. You know, like accidentally forgetting to pass along important info to a coworker or subtly undermining someone's confidence. If you watched through these signs and thought, wait, that sounds a little too familiar, don't freak out just yet. You are not a full-on villain, unless you really lean into it. Catch yourself before these habits take over and you become that person everyone avoids at all costs. Take a breather, do some self-reflection, and work on turning those dark tendencies into something a little less soul-crushing. Trust me, you will feel better, and so will the people who aren't secretly afraid of you anymore. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. If you're interested in more videos like this one, hit the subscribe and notification bell to always be the first to know when a new video is up. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.